How did one hotel keycard from our anniversary turn into papers handed to me in a bright public lobby today? Why did my husband stay calm, say almost nothing, and still make the whole world see me clearly in one legal moment? My name is Valancy Stirling. I was 33 that year, and I worked as a marketing coordinator for a home services company. People think that sounds small, but I always told myself it was a real job. I had deadlines, emails, and plans. I had pressure. I also had a husband who acted like pressure was not real unless it was his. Our anniversary came on a weekday. Ethan talked about it for weeks, like it was a holiday. He said he wanted a quiet dinner and a walk. He said he wanted us to feel close again. I listened and nodded, but inside I felt bored. I hated that feeling. I told myself boredom was a kind of pain. I told myself pain deserved medicine. That morning, I stood in our kitchen and watched Ethan make coffee. He used the same mug he always used. He rinsed it and set it down, like he was careful with it. I saw my own mug on the other side of the counter. 2 mugs, 2 sides. I told myself that was his choice, not mine. Ethan asked what time I would be home after work. I said it would depend on my manager. He said he could pick up takeout if I was tired. I said I was not a child and I could handle dinner. He asked if we could still eat together. I said he was making it heavy already. Mila came in rubbing her eyes. She was 7. She asked if we would do cake again like last year. I said maybe. Ethan said we would, and he said he saved a little money for it. Mila smiled, and I felt a sharp pinch in my chest. I did not call it guilt, I called it stress. At work, the open plan office was loud in the normal way. Keyboards, phones, people laughing too hard. My coworker Jordan waved and asked if I was ready for the new campaign. I said I was always ready. That was my best skill. I could sound sure even when I was not. Around noon, Grant Pierce walked in. He was a vendor rep who came by with brochures and samples. He wore a clean jacket and a confident face. He asked if I had a minute. I said I had 10. He smiled like 10 was enough. We went to the small meeting corner by the window. He asked how married life was treating me. I said it was fine. He said my eyes did not look fine. I laughed and asked why he cared. He said he liked talking to me because I had fire. I told myself it was harmless. It was just words. Grant asked what I was doing for my anniversary. I said my husband planned something basic. Grant said I deserved something that made my heart beat. I asked if he was trying to sell me something. He said he was trying to remind me I was still a woman, not a schedule. I should have shut it down, but I liked the sound of it. I liked feeling seen in a way that did not require me to give anything back. I told myself Ethan stopped seeing me years ago. That was not true, but it was useful. Later, my phone buzzed with a message from Tessa Marlowe. She was my best friend, the one who always said the quiet part out loud. She asked what I was wearing tonight and added a line about finally getting what you want. I answered that I did not know yet. She sent laughing emojis and said I should not waste my prime years on a man who moved like a tired dad. I read that and felt warm, not because it was kind, but because it gave me permission. That is what my circle was good at. They did not ask if I was right. They only asked if I was happy. In the afternoon, Ethan texted me a photo of a small cake box in his car. He wrote that he found my favorite flavor. I stared at the screen and felt annoyed, like he was trying to buy me. I told myself it was a trick. If I accepted the cake, I would owe him a good night. I hated owing him anything. I wrote back that I might be late. He answered that it was okay and that he would wait. The word wait made me feel trapped. I told myself a loving husband should not make his wife feel trapped. I told myself my feelings proved my point. When I got home after work, the house smelled clean. Ethan had wiped the counters. Mila's backpack was on the chair. Ethan was dressed nicer than normal. He asked how my day was. I said it was exhausting. He asked what he could do to help. I said he could stop acting like a hero. He frowned and asked what that meant. I said he did small things and expected applause. He said he only wanted a good night with me. I said he always wanted something from me, even when he pretended he did not. His face changed, like he was hurt, but trying to keep it inside. Mila came into the kitchen and asked if we were going out. Ethan told her yes, soon. I said I needed to answer some work messages first. Ethan said okay, and he asked if it could be quick, so Mila would not get sleepy. I went to the hallway and looked at my phone. Grant had sent an address and a room number with no extra words. Then he sent one more message, saying he could make me feel like it was my birthday, not my anniversary. I told myself he was just being playful. I told myself I could walk away any time. I told myself I was in control. When I walked back, Ethan was looking at his phone. I saw a bright alarm on his screen for a second. It said, paper drop 9:10 p.m. He turned it down fast, like it was private. That annoyed me. I wanted privacy, not him. I wanted him simple and open so I could move around him. Ethan asked if everything was okay at work. I said there was a problem with a client and I might need to go in. He asked if it could wait until tomorrow. I said no, because I was the only one who cared about doing things right. I said he would not understand because his job was just moving boxes. He did not yell. He swallowed and said he understood. He asked if I wanted him to come with me, to keep me company. I said he was being clingy. I said he needed to respect my work. He looked at Mila and then back at me, like he was trying to choose the safest words. He asked what time I would be back. I said I did not know. He said he would put Mila to bed and save cake for me. I said he should not guilt me with cake. He said he was not trying to guilt me. He said he loved me. I took my coat and my bag. In the entryway, I saw his keys on the small table. There was a new key on the ring, shiny and not worn. I did not ask about it. I did not want him to have secret plans. I wanted the only secret to be mine. Mila hugged my waist and asked if I would read tonight. I told her I would do it tomorrow. Ethan asked me to drive safe. I said he was acting like I was leaving forever. Then I walked out, and I did not look back at the kitchen lights. I only looked at my phone, where Grant's address waited like a door that already opened. The car ride felt light at first. I told myself I was doing something brave, not wrong. I kept saying that word in my head, like it could clean everything. Brave. I did not go to the office. I drove past it and did not slow down. I parked near a small coffee place and sat with the engine off. Grant texted again and asked if I was close. I said I was handling a last detail. He wrote that I should not overthink. I told myself he was right, because overthinking was how people like Ethan controlled me. That was my story. After a while, I drove to the rooftop bar where Tessa wanted to meet. It was not part of my plan, but I liked having witnesses on my side. If my friends saw me smiling, it would mean I was right. That is how I use them. I did not say it out loud, even to myself, but I knew. The rooftop was loud. The music was not too strong, but people talked like they were competing. Warm lights hung over the tables. I found Tessa and 2 other friends near the edge. They had drinks already. Tessa hugged me and asked how my big night was going. I said it was complicated. She said complicated meant fun. She asked where Ethan was. I said he was at home acting sad. Tessa rolled her eyes and said, men loved to act hurt when they did not get their way. She said I should enjoy my life. I nodded like I agreed, even though I felt a tight pull in my stomach. Jordan from work texted me and asked if I had seen the client email. I did not answer. That was the funny part. I was building a lie while ignoring the real work. Tessa started telling a story about her boyfriend. She said he got upset because she followed an old friend online. Everyone laughed. They asked if Ethan got upset like that. I said Ethan got upset about everything. I said he made me explain normal things like I was on trial. I said I felt watched. It was not fully true. Ethan asked questions, yes, but he did it because I trained him to worry. I did not admit that. I told the version that made me look like a survivor. That version tasted sweet. Tessa asked if Ethan still tried to plan cute little dates. I said he did, and I said it was almost embarrassing. I said he acted like love was a checklist. I said he wanted praise for buying a cake. They laughed again. I watched their faces and felt stronger. Then Ethan texted me. He wrote that Mila was asking where I was. He wrote that he could bring Mila to the restaurant so we could still do our anniversary dinner. He wrote that he did not want to fight. He wrote that he missed me. I stared at the message and felt angry. He was ruining my mood. He was bringing our child into it. That is what I told myself. I did not tell myself the real thing, which was that he was making it harder to pretend. Tessa noticed my face and asked what was wrong. I said Ethan was checking in. She asked if he was tracking me. I said he was acting like my boss. Tessa said I should teach him a lesson. She said he needed to learn that I was not his property. That word property made me feel bold. I like bold. I texted Ethan back that I was still at work and that things were messy. I said I might be late. He replied that it was okay, but he asked if I could call Mila for 1 minute. I did not answer that part. A little later, my phone buzzed again. It was Grant. He asked if I was ready. I looked at the bar crowd and then at the message. I told him I needed 30 minutes. He wrote that he would wait. That word again. Wait. It felt different when Grant said it. When Ethan waited, it felt like a rope. When Grant waited, it felt like a gift. I let myself believe that. I ordered a drink I did not even want, just to have something in my hand. People took photos. Tessa leaned in close to me and raised her glass. She asked what I was celebrating. I said I was celebrating freedom. She laughed and said she should post that. I told her to do it. When she posted, she tagged me. I saw my face on her screen. My smile looked easy, like I did not have a husband at home. I watched the likes start coming. Each one felt like a small vote that I was not the bad person. Then Ethan showed up. I saw him first, near the elevator entrance. He looked out of place, like he had walked into the wrong movie. He wore the nicer shirt he had on at home. His hair was still damp, like he had rushed. He held a small bag, the kind you carry takeout in. He walked toward me with careful steps. Tessa's eyes widened. She asked if he really came here. I said he was being dramatic. I said he was trying to embarrass me. That was the funny part, because I was the one embarrassing him, and I wanted it. Ethan reached our table. He looked at Tessa and the others and nodded once. He looked at me and asked where I had been. I said I was working and he should not follow me. He asked why my phone showed I was here, not at the office. I said he must have some tracking app, and that was creepy. He blinked like he did not understand. He asked how he could be tracking me when I was the one who shared my location last year for safety. I said that was different. I said he was using it to control me now. Tessa jumped in. She asked Ethan why he was acting like a guard. She said I was allowed to have friends. Ethan said he was not stopping me from having friends. He said he only wanted to bring cake and dinner so we could still do our anniversary together. He said Mila was waiting for me to call. The table went quiet for a second. I did not like that. Quiet let truth in. I laughed and said he was doing a performance. I said he loved making himself look like the good guy. I said he should go home and stop begging. I said he was ruining everyone's night. Ethan's face tightened. He asked if we could talk somewhere away from people. I said no, because he would twist my words. I said if he wanted to speak, he could speak right here. I wanted an audience, because an audience made him careful, and careful made him look weak. He asked if I was coming home tonight. I said I would come home when I was done with work. Tessa laughed loudly and said I was a grown woman. One friend snorted and said Ethan should get a hobby. Ethan looked around at the faces. He did not yell. He did not swear. He just nodded once, like he was taking a note in his head. He set the takeout bag on the table and said he would leave it for me. He said Mila would be asleep soon. He said he hoped I would be safe. I rolled my eyes and said he always tried to be the hero. He said he was not trying to be a hero. He said he was trying to be my husband. I said he should try being less needy. He did not answer that. He picked up his phone and looked at it for a second, like he was checking something. Then he put it away. He gave a small nod to Tessa again, like he was being polite on purpose. Then he walked back to the elevator without looking at me. When he left, Tessa leaned close and asked if I saw how he tried to guilt me with our kid. I said yes, and I said it was manipulative. My mouth kept moving fast, like speed could cover the gap in my chest. I told them he was controlling. I told them he was unstable. I told them he would regret treating me like I was trapped. But while I talked, my phone lit up again. I saw Ethan's last message preview. He wrote that he would not chase me tonight, and that he would handle things the right way from now on. I stared at Ethan's last message until my eyes hurt. He said he would not chase me tonight, and he would handle things the right way from now on. I told myself he was trying to scare me. Ethan did not scare me. That was my belief. I also told myself that if he stopped chasing, it meant he did not love me enough. I could use that too. Tessa asked if I was okay. I said I was fine and that Ethan was doing a guilt move. She said I should block him for the night. I said I did not block my husband because I was mature. What I meant was that I wanted to see him react. Silence from him felt like losing a game. I left the rooftop bar with my phone in my hand. The air outside was colder. I walked to the parking garage and heard my steps echo. Grant texted that he was already in the lobby. He asked if I wanted him to come outside to meet me. I said no, because I did not want to be seen. I told myself that was about privacy. It was really about risk. In the car, I practiced my story again. I said I would tell Ethan that a client issue forced me to sleep near the office. I said I would tell him my phone died. I said I would tell him Jordan could confirm I stayed late. I laughed quietly at that last part, like it was clever. When I pulled up to the hotel, I kept my head down as I walked in. The lobby smelled like clean soap and warm air. Grant stood near a tall plant and acted casual. He asked if I was nervous. I said I was not nervous, just tired. He said he liked my confidence. I said it was not confidence, it was self-respect. We did not hold hands in the lobby. I made sure of that. Grant asked if I wanted a drink from the bar. I said no. I told him we were not doing anything messy. He asked what that meant. I said it meant he should not make me look bad. He said he would never do that. At the front desk, he spoke first. He gave his name, not mine. He said it was a business day. The clerk smiled like she believed anything people said. We got a keycard. I watched the number on it and told myself it was just a number, not a choice. In the elevator, Grant asked if Ethan had ever done something romantic for me. I said Ethan did the same things every year, like it was a school project. Grant said I deserved surprise. I said yes, and I meant it. I said a woman should not have to beg for excitement. He said I was right. In the room, the lights were soft. There was a small desk, 2 chairs, and a bed that looked too perfect. Grant asked if I was sure. I said yes. I did not mean yes to him. I meant yes to my own story, the one where I was allowed to do anything if I felt neglected. We sat and talked. He asked what Ethan did that made me unhappy. I listed things like a lawyer lists facts, but I only picked the facts that helped me. I said Ethan asked too many questions. I said he expected gratitude for basic kindness. I said he did not get me. Grant nodded and said Ethan sounded insecure. Grant asked if I ever thought about leaving Ethan. I said I could, if I wanted. I said Ethan would fall apart without me. I said I stayed because I was loyal. That was a lie, but it sounded good in the room. My phone buzzed again. It was a voice message from Mila. She asked if I could read the bedtime chapter like always. She said Daddy was quiet. She asked if I was mad at them. My throat tightened, and I hated that feeling. I told myself children were dramatic. I told myself Mila would forget by morning. Grant saw my face and asked what happened. I said it was nothing. just a kid being needy. He asked if I should call her. I said no, because then Ethan would start again. I said Ethan used Mila to control me. Grant said that was wrong of Ethan. I nodded like I was the reasonable one. Later, my phone showed one missed call from Ethan. No message. That made me angry again. I wanted him to be loud so I could point at him. I wanted him to accuse me so I could call him jealous. Instead, he gave me nothing to fight. I stayed in the room for hours. I will not describe anything private. I will only say I made choices I had already planned. I told myself I was reclaiming myself. I told myself Ethan pushed me here. I told myself I could go back to normal tomorrow. Near dawn, I left the hotel alone. Grant asked if I wanted breakfast. I said no, because I needed to get home before the day looked suspicious. He asked if I would text him later. I said I would. He said he missed me already. I said he was sweet. Driving home, I kept checking my reflection in the mirror. I practiced looking calm. I practiced looking tired in a believable way. I practiced being innocent. When I opened the front door, the house was quiet. The hallway light was on, low. I stepped inside and listened. I did not hear the TV. I did not hear footsteps. I did not hear a kid talking in her sleep. It felt like a test. In the kitchen, I saw 2 mugs again, but this time they were farther apart. On the table, there was a sticky note that said, "Bring forms." I froze for a second. Forms for what? Then I told myself it was probably work stuff. Ethan liked lists. That was all. Ethan was sitting in the living room chair, with his phone face down. He looked like he had not slept. He did not jump up. He did not shout. He asked where I had been. I said I was at the office and then at a client site. He asked why I did not call Mila. I said my phone was low and I was overwhelmed. He asked if I slept at the office. I said yes, on the couch, because I was committed. He nodded slowly. He asked if that was true. I said it was true, and asked why he was interrogating me. I said he was trying to control me again. He did not react the way I expected. He said he was not controlling me. He said he was trying to understand the reality. I told him the reality was that my job was demanding, and he did not respect it. He looked down at his hands. He asked if I knew what it felt like to wait with a child who kept asking for her mother. I said he was making it dramatic. I said he could have distracted her. I said he could have handled one night. He stood and walked to the kitchen. He did not come close to me. He opened a drawer, and I heard a soft click like a lock. He took out Mila's lunchbox and set it on the counter. Then he closed the drawer carefully. I noticed the laptop on the side table. The screen was dark, but I saw it had been on recently. A spreadsheet grid was open under the dim reflection, like he had been organizing something. No title showed, just lines and numbers. Ethan asked if I wanted coffee. I said no. I asked why he was acting so calm. He said he was tired and he needed to make good choices. I laughed once and said he was pretending to be wise. He did not answer that. He told me Mila was asleep and he would take her to school. He asked if I could be home on time for pickup. I said of course, and I said he should stop acting like I might disappear. He looked at me for a long second and then said he would be in the guest room for now. I wanted to fight him. I wanted to drag him back into the old pattern. But he walked away without giving me the scene I wanted. As he passed the printer, it spit out a blank page like it had tried to work and stopped. Ethan picked up the blank page, folded it once, and threw it away. I stood in the kitchen and told myself I had won something. I told myself Ethan's calm meant he had no power. Still, when I finally went to bed, I could not sleep because the house felt like it was quietly changing without me. The next few days felt like a slow leak. Little sounds, little looks, people acting normal but not fully. I could feel the rumor moving, even when nobody said it out loud. At work, Jordan kept watching me. Not in a friendly way, in a careful way. Jordan asked if I was okay because I looked tired. I said I was fine and that my husband was being difficult. Jordan asked what I meant. I said Ethan did not respect my job, and he tried to monitor me. Jordan said it sounded serious and asked if I was safe. I said yes, but I added that Ethan had been acting strange. I use that word on purpose, because strange can mean anything. It makes people fill the gap for you. Jordan nodded slowly and said they hoped things got better. I thanked them like they had done me a favor. Later, in the copy room, I saw my reflection in the printer glass and fixed my face. I opened my phone and checked my messages with Grant. I scrolled fast, then deleted a few lines and told myself that was responsible. I saved his name under a boring label and told myself it was only for privacy. I did not say it was for hiding. When I got home, the house felt split. Ethan had moved some of his things to the guest room. Not a dramatic pile, just a few neat items, like he was making a point without saying it. I walked into the kitchen and saw that the mugs were still on opposite sides. Mila was drawing at the table. She looked up and asked if Daddy was mad at me. I told her Daddy was stressed. I said grown-ups sometimes needed space. She asked if it was her fault. I said no and hugged her quickly, but my mind was already on Ethan. I wanted him to be mad. Mad would make him look bad. Quiet made him look careful. Ethan came in and asked if I could talk about school pickup times. I said yes, and I asked why he was acting like we were separated. He said he was trying to keep Mila's day steady. I said he was overreacting. He asked where I had slept on our anniversary. I said I told him already. He asked why my story kept changing in small ways, like the times and the order. I said he was obsessing. He said he was not obsessing, and he asked me to answer one clear question. I said I did not have to answer anything like I was in court. He looked down at the counter and asked if we could keep our voices low around Mila. I said he was always controlling the tone. He said it was not about me, it was about her. I hated that he could say things like that and sound reasonable. That night, my mother called. She asked what was going on because she saw Tessa's rooftop post and some comments. I said Ethan had been jealous and weird. I said he showed up to embarrass me. My mother said men did that when they felt weak. She asked if I wanted to come stay with her. I said no because I did not want to look like I was running. I wanted Ethan to be the runner. The next weekend, we had a family dinner at a restaurant. Long table, loud plates, too many eyes. Ethan's parents were there, and my parents were there, and my sister was there. Mila sat near the middle, swinging her legs. I sat beside Ethan like we were still a unit, because the picture mattered to me more than the truth. Ethan's mother, Ruth, asked how work was. I said it was busy. Ruth asked if the busy work was why I missed Mila's bedtime on our anniversary. Her voice was polite, but the question landed sharp. I smiled and said yes, and I said the client crisis was unexpected. My father looked down at his plate. My mother made a small noise like a sigh and said I worked hard and Ethan should be proud. Ethan's father, Dean, asked Ethan if he was doing okay. Ethan said he was managing and focusing on Mila. That annoyed me. He did not look broken. He did not look angry. He looked stable. I needed him unstable. So I pushed. I told a funny story about how Ethan used to plan dates like a school kid. I said he brought me flowers once and asked if the vase was approved. People laughed a little. I kept going. I said he asked too many questions, even about simple things. I said it was like living with a manager. I made my voice light so it sounded harmless. Ruth did not laugh. She asked why I was speaking about my husband like he was a joke. I said I was just being honest. I said couples should be able to laugh. Dean said a laugh should not cut the person you live with. I said they were being sensitive. My sister asked if I was seeing someone else. She asked it in a half-joke way, like she wanted to pretend it was impossible. The whole table got quiet again. I hated quiet. I laughed and said, of course not. I said Ethan was paranoid and he saw enemies everywhere. I said he needed help for his trust issues. Ethan looked at me and asked why I was saying that. I said because it was true. He did not argue. He simply said he would not discuss private matters at the table. My mother rolled her eyes and said Ethan always chose the high road so he could look like a saint. I agreed quickly. I said he used calm as a weapon. That line made a few people nod because it sounded smart. Mila tugged my sleeve and whispered that she needed the bathroom. I took her, and in the hallway, she asked why Grandma Ruth was not smiling at me. I said Grandma Ruth was just tired. Mila asked if Daddy was leaving us. I said no, but my mouth felt dry. Back at the table, Ethan was on his phone. He set it down when I sat. I saw a thread name pop up for a second that said, "Follow up." He turned the screen down. I watched his hands. They were steady. That scared me more than anger. After dinner, there was a community hall event for the neighborhood, a winter fundraiser with people from school and work. Tessa said we should go, because being seen together would help my story. I agreed, because I wanted to control the room. At the hall, the lights were bright, and the sound was full. Parents waved, teachers smiled. Someone asked Ethan how he was doing. Ethan said he was fine and asked about their kids. Someone asked me if I was okay. I said I was getting through it, and looked at Ethan like he was the reason. Tessa filmed a short clip of me with a drink and Ethan standing a few steps away. She asked me loudly if my husband was still acting weird. I said he was trying to police my life. Ethan heard it. He did not react. He simply walked toward the coat area and helped Mila with her scarf. That made me furious. He was refusing to play my game. So I posted first. I shared a photo of Ethan walking away and wrote a caption that made it look like he was leaving his family. I told myself it was self-defense. I told myself I had to protect my image. People started commenting fast. When we got home later, Ethan did not mention the post. He helped Mila brush her teeth. He read her a short story. He shut her door softly. Then he walked past me without a word and went to the guest room. I followed him and asked if he was going to ignore me forever. He asked me to stop blocking doorways. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was not accusing me of anything, and he said he needed space to think clearly. I asked what he was thinking about. He said he was thinking about what was best for Mila and what was true. I said truth was my truth too. He said he would not fight about words anymore. He closed the guest room door gently. I heard a small click, like a lock or a latch. I stood in the hallway and told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he was trying to punish me. Still, my stomach twisted because his silence felt like a plan. The week after the fundraiser, I woke up every morning with the same thought. Ethan was trying to punish me. I told myself he was doing it to make me beg. I told myself I would not beg. I did not notice how much I still needed him to react, because reaction meant I mattered. In the kitchen, he moved like a careful stranger. He made Mila's breakfast, packed her bag, and wiped the counter. He did not ask me where I went or who I spoke to. He did not ask why my phone kept lighting up at odd hours. He spoke to Mila in a steady voice and kept his eyes off me. That was new, and I hated it. One morning, I saw his laptop open for 1 second before he closed it. I did not see a title. I only saw neat columns and rows like a budget. Next to the laptop was a sticky note that said, "Bring forms." I asked him what forms. He said it was for paperwork stuff, and that I did not need to worry. I said I had a right to know. He said we would talk when Mila was not in the room. At the school pickup line, I tried to force that talk. I arrived early and parked behind him. When he stepped out to open Mila's door, I walked up and asked if he was telling people lies about me. He asked what I meant. I said he was acting like a victim in public. He said he was not discussing our marriage at school. I told him he was making me look bad by being quiet. He said he could not control what people imagined. I said he could fix it by acting normal again. He asked what normal meant. I said normal meant sharing a bed, smiling at events, and not making me feel watched. He said he was not watching me, but he was noticing patterns. I asked what patterns. He said he had noticed I lied easily, and then called him controlling when he asked questions. I laughed and said he was making things up. He said he was not making anything up, and he asked me to stop raising my voice because the windows were open and other parents could hear. That made my face burn. I said he was threatening me with gossip. He said he was protecting Mila from hearing adult fights. Mila ran up then and asked if we could get ice cream. Ethan said maybe on Friday. I said yes quickly, like I was the fun parent. Ethan looked at me and said we would keep the schedule simple for Mila. I asked what schedule. He said he would message it to me later. In the car, Mila asked why Daddy did not laugh with me anymore. I told her Daddy was tired. She asked if Daddy would leave the house. I said no, but my voice sounded thin. She asked if I still loved Daddy. I said of course. I added that Daddy had trouble loving in the right way. Mila frowned like she did not understand. That was the worst part. She did not understand, and I still used her as a small audience. That afternoon, Grant texted and asked if we could meet at the gym parking lot. I said yes, even though I knew it was risky. I told myself I needed support. I told myself Ethan pushed me to need support. Grant met me beside my car and asked why I looked angry. I said Ethan was playing mind games. Grant asked if Ethan knew about us. I said no, but I added that Ethan was acting like he knew something. Grant told me to be careful. He said men got nasty when they felt small. I said Ethan was not dangerous, just weak. Grant asked if I was sure. I said yes, but my stomach tightened. I asked Grant if he would be there if things got messy. He said he would, but his eyes shifted away when he said it. I pretended not to notice. That evening, I went to the supermarket with Mila. I wanted a normal scene with bright lights and small choices, like I could shop my way out of trouble. In the checkout line, my card declined once. The cashier asked if I wanted to try again. I said it was a glitch. I tried again, and it worked, but my face stayed hot. When we got home, Ethan was at the table with a calm expression and his phone beside him. I asked if he changed anything with our accounts. He asked what happened. I told him my card declined and it embarrassed me. He said he had separated some spending for a while to keep bills clear. I asked if he was cutting me off. He said no, and he said it was a temporary safeguard. He said he was keeping household payments steady. I told him that sounded like financial control. He said it was financial responsibility. I told him he was punishing me. He said he was protecting the basics for Mila. I said he was making me feel like a criminal. He said he was not accusing me of a crime. He said he was asking for honesty. I asked what honesty he wanted. He said he wanted the truth about the anniversary night. I crossed my arms and said I already told him. He asked why the story changed each time he asked. I said it changed because he stressed me out and made me forget details. He said that did not make sense. I said he always thought he was smarter than me. He said he did not think that, and he asked again where I slept. I decided to attack. I told him he was cold, and he had been cold for years. I told him he made me feel unwanted. I told him that if I looked for warmth elsewhere, it would be because he pushed me away. He looked at me for a long time and asked if I was saying I cheated. I said I was saying he caused my loneliness. He said loneliness did not excuse betrayal. That word betrayal hit like a slap. I told him he was dramatic. He said he was being accurate. I told him he was acting like a judge. He said he did not want to be a judge, but he could not live inside lies. Mila came in and asked if we were still doing ice cream on Friday. Ethan said yes, and he asked her to go wash her hands. When she left, he lowered his voice and asked me not to pull her into adult problems. I said he was the one making adult problems. I walked toward the stairwell landing and he followed, like he wanted distance from Mila's door. I turned and blocked the narrow space on purpose. I asked if he was leaving me. He said he was thinking about what he could live with. I asked if he was going to tell people I was a bad wife. He said he was not focused on labels. He said he was focused on facts and safety for Mila. I laughed and said he would never do anything, because he was too soft. I said he would just sit in the guest room and sulk. He looked tired, not angry. He asked me to step aside so he could go to bed. I said not until he answered me. He took a slow breath and looked past my shoulder, like he was choosing the right words. He said he would not argue in hallways. He said he would not shout. He said he would not play public games. Then he said, very calmly, that he would handle it properly. I went to my office that morning like it was a shield. If I sat at my desk and answered emails, then nothing could touch me. That is what I told myself. I kept checking my phone, waiting for Ethan to break and send long messages. He did not. The silence made my skin crawl. Around lunch, Jordan said someone was downstairs asking for me by name. I asked who it was. Jordan said they did not know, but the person looked official. I laughed and said Ethan was being dramatic again. I stood up fast anyway. In the office tower lobby, the air smelled like polished stone and coffee. People walked past with badges and headphones. I saw Ethan near the glass doors. He stood straight, hands at his sides, like he was waiting for a bus. Next to him was a woman in a simple blazer holding a folder. She did not smile at me. She did not look angry either. She looked neutral, like this was just a task. I walked up and asked Ethan what he was doing here. I said he was stalking me. He said he was not stalking me and that this was a public place for a reason. I asked why he brought a stranger. He said he brought a professional, so everything stayed clear and lawful. I told him this was humiliating. He said I had been humiliating him for weeks, and he had not stopped me. I said he was trying to ruin my life. He said he was trying to protect Mila and protect reality. The woman stepped forward and asked if I was Valancy Stirling. I said yes, and asked if she was with the police. She said she was not police. She said she was serving legal documents. She said I could read them now or later, but the time started today either way. My mouth went dry. I looked at Ethan and asked what documents. He said he filed for divorce, and he requested temporary orders so things stayed stable while the process moved forward. I said he could not do that without talking to me. He said he had tried talking, and I had turned every talk into a show. The woman handed me the packet. It felt heavier than paper should feel. I flipped the top page and saw my name and Ethan's name printed cleanly. I saw a date that matched our anniversary night. I saw a list of attachments. I saw words like temporary schedule and financial restraints. I saw a line that said we would follow a set custody plan starting immediately, with school pickup times written out. I saw a line that limited large transfers and new debt until further notice. I laughed and said he was insane. Ethan said he was calm, and he asked me to keep my voice down. I said he was doing this because I went out one night. He said it was not one night, and it was not just going out. He said he had receipts. He said the hotel booking, the entry times, the posts, and the messages matched too well to deny. I tried to say he was controlling. He said he was not controlling me, and he was not touching me. He said he was choosing distance and structure because that was what adults did when trust was gone. I looked at the pages again, and my hand started shaking because the packet did not care about my excuses. Ethan nodded once, like the decision was already finished. Then he turned and walked out through the glass doors, while I stood in the lobby holding the proof.